Half your face.
They call me Hell. They call me Stacy. They call me Hell. They call me Jane. That's not my name. That's not my name.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my name. That's not my name.
Jenna's got the Egyptian going on.
Yep. This is perfect for Jenna's podcast. Oh, how's everybody doing? How are we doing out there in YouTube land? We used to say in Twitterverse. Everybody, thank you for being here. As you can see our little intro there, Jenna's got a little Egyptian dance thing going on. Everybody out there watching right now, she doesn't need any introduction, but we're definitely going to do it anyway. We have with us live Jenna Elfman from Fear the Walking Dead. Jenna, would you like to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for all your awesome messages on Twitter and all the love and all the excitement. It's been fun. It's been really great.
It has been, and I know from where we stand on our standpoint, the interaction with and I mean this is with all of you. You know, the whole Fear crew is just super interactive with the fans. I mean, and even the people who just started appearing on the show, you know. And my apologies because I don't have all their names memorized yet. I know that we've donned. Oh God, what's her name? They call her Filthy Woman.
Tanya Pinkins.
Yes. And let me tell you something. I saw her with like done up, like makeup and all. She is beautiful. I was like, well, she don't look like that in the show. But yeah, so everyone, thank you for being here. We're gonna start out with just basically getting to know. We're gonna
breakdown.
There go. That's our first. You guys know that it wouldn't be. You guys know it wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't have some kind of technical problems. You know that.
Oh, you know why it happened? Because Lucy just showed up.
Oh, perfect.
Oh God! Because my laptop broke, and now I'm like trying to have my iPad all working out here. Okay.
So just so I'll give you a little idea of what you got watching right now. So right now we have people watching from. Is Pi here? Pi is from Finland. You have Lucy, Gay, and I think just Lucy and Gay right now. We're from the UK. Linda is from France. I mean, people right now where it's easily anywhere from 1 in the morning to 2 or 3 in the morning watching you live right now.
Wow.
The love is there. So
nobody sleep.
Now you can watch this later. They're like, hell no.
Well, we have 31 people saying they're not missing this because they're here right now.
Yeah,
so.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's just a skewed number too, because usually by the time we're done with a show, the number's like well over 100. I'm like, well, how come that didn't reflect before? You know the whole podcast thing. I mean, you do one.
Yes.
How's that? I mean, have you guys had time to do one at all?
Yeah, not in a few months because, you know, we film in Austin.
Right.
And I have 2 children. Mm-hmm. And I am a very active and involved mother. Yeah. And so when I'm home, I am doing that and catching up on things that, you know, I get behind in from being out of town. And so oftentimes it takes a while to play catch up before Bodie and I are like, oh, hello.
Right.
Hello. Would you like to do a podcast? Sure. Okay. You know, and organizing, you know, the best time and location and all of that takes some coordination and to do it the way we like to do it. And, you know, with my kids, you know, they're my priority when I'm home. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be grueling. I you know, obviously, you know, we hear that that's one of the reasons why Andrew's leaving The Walking Dead is because he wants to be with his family more. So I could only imagine what you as a parent and everyone else who is an actor as a parent has to really do to just get that time in.
The kind of sacrifice you have to make.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, I fly home every weekend, land at the airport, and go straight to the baseball games, and during springtime. And luckily, right now, there's just starting fall ball, and I'm home for all of fall ball, so I'm very excited about that.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So real quick, there's some of your fans, your friends, and all that stuff. Friends. We have Karen and Dottie who say that they send you hugs and kisses. They met you in Nashville, so they want to let you know. Dottie can't watch it until much later because of the time zone stuff and everything. But they're out here. They will be watching. Karen's probably here somewhere. If not yet. Karen works at a hospital, so she's nursing it up probably right now.
That's fantastic.
I was going
to say, I think one of them is a nurse, so I was right, yeah.
Yep.
We know the struggles of working in a hospital.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously Robin, I believe Robin is in Houston right now for the con that's going on out there right now. So he's going to be watching too, he said. And obviously, you were on a show for Twitter, right? I believe it was for Twitter. You were on a show.
Oh yeah, it was. You mean the People magazine? Their Twitter interview.
Right, their Twitter interview.
Yeah.
Right. And that was just amazing. I mean, he was completely beside himself when he heard that interview, and I mean,
I mentioned his name and talked about he and Colleen.
Yeah, and I mean, and I believe David too, the Everyday Rick Grimes.
Yep.
And I mean, Robin is probably one of the most genuine people you could ever, and his wife Colleen, and David as well. But they're all like this group that we are proud to be a part of. When he called me so excited on the phone to explain to me, he goes, "You have no idea." He goes, "We had dinner with her," and I'm like, "That's good. That's I don't know if I'd be able to be like." Yeah, I was just hanging out and I had dinner with Jenna Elfman. All right. But I mean, he was, that whole night that you guys got to have, I mean, he's over the moon about it. Everybody who got to share that time with you is completely just enamored by you. I mean,
I loved it. Like, I was equally, as overjoyed as they were. It was very pleasurable, to. Number one, I share their passion,
right.
All of us, for the Walking Dead universe. It's a fun universe, and the shows are great, and he's an incredible artist, and they're so sincere and kind, and I always super value people who are creative, hardworking, and sincere and kind, and so, and all of them were, and enthusiastic, and it was the Sunday night, and it was after the convention, and I was like starving, and all my friends who were on the shows, who we hang. It's really nice to get to see everybody at the conventions, but they had all left on their flights, and I was sitting in my hotel room like, do I order room service? I don't want room service. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder if they're still here. So I reached out to him. I'm like, are you guys around? He was like, what do you have in mind? I was just on my way to the truck. I was like, let's go eat dinner. I'm so hungry. We've all got to be starving, right? Yeah. He's like, starving. I was like, let's do it. So we met in the lobby and walked over to Ruth's Chris. And, oh my God, it was just such nice, great conversation. And they reminded me of all the people I grew up with, and it just feels like home when I'm around sincere, lovely people, and that makes me feel happy. So I appreciate them as much as whatever they're feeling for me too.
Yeah, well, that's just you don't. It's always obviously it's great to hear things like that, especially when because a lot of people sometimes have that problem, separating the two. It's like they're just a normal person. Just because this is what they do for a living, they're still a person. It doesn't make them really any different unless that person makes themselves another level. So, and I mean, I know you've talked about this before, but as far as the fandom, because when you were when you were Dharma with that fandom and everything like that, and being a part of this family, which really is the best way you can really explain it. Since I started this 3 years ago, I did it as a hobby. I mean, and then Ryan stepped in a year after, and I've never been embraced by something so caring and loving and genuine, and I mean, how is it? Because I know you said it before, but how is it? What's the difference? What's separated from like when you were on Dharma and Greg, and then with The Walking Dead, with Fear the Walking Dead?
Like the difference in the fan reaction? Yeah, it is so different, and I didn't even know what to expect because I had nothing to compare it to. I think my experience with Dharma and my whole career, people will see me at a store or whatever, and they're like, oh, hey, and they have their reaction that they tell me what they enjoyed me in or what their favorite project was, and it's all so sweet and sincere. And but this, I think there's such a heavy. I'm actually curious what you think it is. What I think it is, based on my short time in it, I think that there's such a heavy investment of your own emotions when you're watching the shows, because the shows take you into that what would I do place. Yep. And because the characters are so invested in those basic core human qualities, and I think that this show, the whole Walking Dead universe, the two shows, they cut through the social bullshit and go straight to who we are as human beings, right. and the woof and warp of what makes us who we are at any given time in any certain circumstance, to various different people based on what they mean to us or what our buttons are with them. Yeah. And it, in life, there's such a social veneer. Right. And on these shows, but despite the social veneer, we still have all of our true, real feelings. And I think on this show, there's no social veneer. It's straight up our feelings. Right. And my sense is those people who are fans of this show and who dig in and invest and get it, and it lands on them and they go on this journey, they're part of those emotions, and they feel connected to the humanity, and so there's like a brotherhood in a way, right, of sharing these emotions and going on these emotional journeys with the characters. I think that might be the territory of what this is, but I'm curious what you think it is. What is it for you?
Well, it's fun. See, I got put on the spot. I was at Walker Stalker Chicago, and it was Dave Solo's last time being there. And the only other time I'd ever met Dave Solo was at Jersey the year prior at Walker Stalker Con. And super nice guy, never met him before, just walked up to him, introduced myself, told him what we did, because that's how he started out with podcasts and everything. And, from Jersey to seeing him a year later in Chicago, he was the same exact person. And even more welcoming and warming, and gave him a bunch of shirts. He was tossing them out to the crowd. He was pumping the crowd up for us at his show. And he goes, what is, beast mode to you? What is it? And, beast mode in the acronym, beast stands for Big East Alliance Zombie Team. So that's how it originated. Like when we first started, it was based off of like survival stuff and what would you do with this kind of stuff, until we really started getting into, where we're at now. But it's a family. We've created our own family. Like we have our Beast Mode family that is part of the Fear family and the Walking Dead family. And everywhere we go now, you're a part of something. And that it's about being a part of something that there's a shared love for. And that's what it is.
Yeah, and kind of
I love that.
Just adding off of what Chris said. This past weekend, I went to Heroes and Villains Fan Fest New Jersey, and Fan Fest is runs Heroes and Villains and Walker Stalker. Yeah. And I kind of had, for personal reasons, I almost didn't go, and I really didn't want to be there. and I was kind of just dreading going. It was really early to get there. I had a VIP pass also, so I was there. I had to be in there by 9 o'clock. Pick up my pass by 8 o'clock in the morning. It was really early morning, and I was feeling sick. I didn't want to go. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to waste the money. I got the VIP pass. I'm going to go, and if I hate it, I'll get in my car and I'll leave. And the first person that I interacted with, as far as someone I knew, was Robin and Colleen. And honestly, Robin came over and gave me one of his big bear hugs. And he was like, "Man, if you need anything, you come to me. I'll help you out however I can." Blah blah blah. And it just it struck a chord with me. And I said, "You know what? I'm going to give this as much of a chance as I possibly can." And then I ran into Thomas Amara and Kirk Manley. And Kirk was like, "Do you have any plans for today?" And I said, "Well, there's a couple people that I want to kind of go see, get some autographs, get some pictures, whatever." And he was like, "All right." He goes, "Well, if you take a picture with somebody or get an autograph from somebody, bring it back to my booth, leave it here so you don't have to carry it around." And he goes, "And when you're not doing something, just come hang out with me."
Yep.
And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Yeah, just come hang out with us, man." I'm like, "All right." So I ended up doing that. I went and saw Matt Ryan, who plays John Constantine on Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. And I went and met Kirk Acevedo, who played one of the governor's people on Walking Dead. And he also played the big bad Ricardo Diaz on Arrow last season. And I met them, and they were just awesome to me, and I talked to Kirk about the podcast and everything, and he knew who we were already, which was really cool. And he was just I don't know how to explain it. He was just like we're two high school friends, you know what I mean? And we haven't talked in 10 years, like we're catching up. And then I spent the rest of the time, I literally was there until 5:30, I think it was. And the con ended at 6, and I didn't plan to be there for more than 2 hours, and I ended up being there all day. And it got to the point where Kirk got so busy at his booth, I was pulling out posters and things like that, slipping them into the hard sleeves for him, and have him autograph them. I was helping him pull banners down and stuff like that. And I just lost track of time. And what could have been a really bad experience for me, just because I was feeling not emotionally just all happy. Yeah. I was just down in the dumps, and I was feeling sick, which didn't help the matter. And the Walking Dead family, even though it wasn't like a Walking Dead con, it was still the Walking Dead family kind of pulled me out of that and made the whole day just really good for me.
I love that. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, that's the same feeling I have. It's the same feeling. Like, it's different than just a fan thing where they're like, "Oh, hey, you over there." There's like this it's the community, right. And it's special, and it's full of love and commonality, and it's this great equalizer where everyone's meeting kind of in this level of common affinity for something. And I know, I dig it. Everyone's so enthusiastic. It's cool.
Yeah, and it's it's nice because for you, like, you feel safe, like, around these people that like they're around you. There's whatever, but there's nothing that's really odd, strange, or threatening about anyone I've met. You know what I mean? It's like an area of people that like you feel like, okay, everyone's good. There's nobody here with bad intentions. No,
it's true. It's and it's all a community for them. They find community in it, and it's a valuable experience for everyone. So it's like an environment where everybody's being enhanced. So it's kind of cool. Yeah,
very cool. So Robin sent a message.
Okay.
So he said I have to do this. So he said I probably won't be able to watch the cast live, but you got to do this. It's not a question, but something that will make her laugh. Tell her we said your hubby called and said your oldest son's ball mitt is in your suitcase and that they need it immediately. That must be an inside joke or something. So
very cute. Very cute. Yes.
All right. So there's that.
We
I did it, Robin.
Robin. We send these. Colleen when we were at dinner. She was talking about one conversation led to another conversation, but talking about her sons going overseas because they're in the military, and going to be going to Germany for a long time. I think one's in South Korea. I think the other one's going to Germany for like a year and a half or something. And so we were talking about that, and she was saying how her morning coffee, she's not going to have anyone to, because his wife lives with her with the grandson. And so she's not going to have anyone to have morning coffee with in her PJs. And so we were talking about our mutual love of coffee, and I was like, I'd love to have coffee with you in the PJs. I love having morning coffee with people. So now we like text each other pictures of our coffee in our lap and say good morning.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
There, and you couldn't be doing it with better people, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm gonna dive right into some of these questions.
Okay.
Because I know we'll get sidetracked here and there. This is from Lomas. Now Lomas is Thomas. Thomas got called. I think Thomas called himself Lomas.
No. What ended up happening was I told you how Thomas and I have this joking love-hate relationship, even though he's a very good friend of mine. And we were just having our witty banter in the live chat. I've forgotten on whose podcast, but anyways, I was like, yeah, someone's really annoying me, and his name rhymes with Lamas.
Oh, all right.
And then everybody just started calling him Lamas, and I don't know.
All right.
It stuck.
So this is
I'm going to have to call him that now.
Yeah, it's okay. He'll love it.
Okay.
He's here, by the way. Obviously, I've seen him strolling through the
He
chat.
did say that he has a special photo op planned for you for Atlanta. I don't know what that means, but with Thomas, that could really be anything.
I'm very curious now what kind of photo shoot we're going to be doing.
Yeah,
you should be slightly concerned.
I have one too. And the only one who knows, I think, what I'm doing is Ryan, because I told him today.
Ah, yes.
So
yes.
We'll see you in Atlanta, and it's, I hope you appreciate, because it's my first time ever doing this.
Yeah, it is.
Ever. So I don't really.
Okay,
I'm
excited.
I'm a Cancer. I stay in my shell a lot,
Yeah, I'm married to one. I know.
And let me throw this out there real quick. I drove to Sonoya, Georgia, back in May. I drove 17 hours down and 17 hours back. If it wasn't for Karen and Dottie, I would have probably never been able to entertain myself listening to you and Bodie on your podcast the whole way down and back. I mean,
I'm sorry.
No, you guys are hysterical. Yeah. And anyone who has not went and listened to them, it's Kicking and Screaming Elfman, right?
It's Kicking and Screaming, and our it's on iTunes, our social media tag is @Kicking Elfman.
Okay, @Kicking Elfman, right? All right.
Yeah.
So
and we filmed them too, so you can watch them or just listen to them.
That was a really cool thing, because the ones you had with audio and oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for?
Video.
Thank you.
Video.
Audio, video. So I had my phone, I had my phone sitting in my dashboard. So I'm driving, and I'm able to look down, and I'm driving. And I'm like, listen, I needed to stay awake. You guys had me laughing, so thank you for that.
You're welcome. I apparently did not offend you too badly.
No, I love the men bashing and all that stuff. And I mean, I just love, you guys are so real life, and you are real life. It's a real relationship being brought to the open in the forefront, and talking about marriage things, and just how it is. It's how it is. There isn't the intimacy and the passionate love making and this and this and this and whatever everyone thinks that married life is about or whatever. And it's about working together to have that moment alone, and and stuff like that. So, but you guys, it's hysterical. And if you guys have not had a chance, please go check it out. Put it in the chat for everybody. It's Kicking and Screaming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let me get to Lomas's question. This is from our boy Thomas.
Okay.
He says, to me, June and John has become the ultimate love story of the apocalypse, surpassing Glenn and Maggie. Wow. Did you know that part of your character arc when you started, and did you think it would be such a perfect story?
Trying to remember how much I did not know about the love story when I started. All I knew was I did this Skype with Scott Gimple, and he walked me through my character's backstory and what has happened to her, what is happening to her, what she's become aware of within herself, and what she'd like to, what she's struggling with. I can say that much.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think it was like lightly mentioned, like, oh, maybe a love story. I don't know. It wasn't heavily mentioned or pitched or anything like that. I was aware there was going to maybe be kind of I don't know. I don't even remember him talking about the love story when we first did our Skype. But when you watch the very first episode of season 4,
yep,
I think if it's not the very first shot, it's one of the very first shots of the whole season is a close-up on him reading the book Love Story.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
And
so there's a little hint.
Yeah, there's, I think it's a love story. I said this to, I think, my Vanity Fair interview or something online. But, it's a story. There's the love story between the two of them, but there's the love story between human beings and how we treat each other. And, I think with Morgan, his story of all life is precious that he learned from Eastman, and him trying to maintain that within himself, and all of the times he's slipped away from it, and he keeps trying to get himself back to it. His gesture of love, that viewpoint of all life is precious, and his gesture of love, like he stepped in front of Alicia's gun and saved my life, like that's kind of how I met him.
Right.
So I think that the love story is one dynamic of the ultimate story of love and hope and help.
Yeah, now, I know, because Ryan's catching up, but I've been there from the beginning. Proud to say that.
Yep.
I didn't give up when everyone else was crapping all over it.
Hold on, but you have to admit, the first and second season were a little hard to chew through.
I'm not saying that it was great TV, but what I'm saying is they had to come from a different side. They had to come from the beginning, not start in the middle or right after. You know what I mean? So
it wasn't even like the first 2 episodes bothered me. I loved the first few episodes. They were fine, but it was like 5 episodes into the first season, and I lost interest.
Yeah, well, if you stuck with it, this is your reward.
But I can proudly say that John and June, from all the clips I've seen, are the reason why I'm getting back into Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay. All right.
Yay! That's good.
So we have a few questions from Linda. Now, Linda's our hard hitter. She's the one out in France. Linda comes with some good stuff. So it usually takes me a little bit to decipher the questions, but usually, I mean, she's excellent with her English. So, all right. So she wants to know. First one's easy. What is June's favorite thing about John Dory?
His unconditional love.
Okay.
It's what's healing. It's what heals June.
Yeah. And you know what? In the world that it is, to have someone like him who still has that old world approach.
Yeah.
To where...
you mean decency?
Yeah. And,
why is decency old world? I mean, what does our world come to?
I meant according to...
I know what you mean.
Oh, okay.
I agree with
you. But decency and just being a human, in that type of world where you don't have to be, compassionate and everything. So, I mean, what's there not to love? All right. So, have you been surprised by the fan affection for John and June and their story?
Not like why. Not surprised in that way.
Yeah.
But I think it was just part of me learning about this fandom phenomenon. I had no idea that people were going to latch onto that love story. I had no concept of that whatsoever. All I was doing was just trying to make a great episode and do my best. And, I was in the middle of a learning curve. It was like it was only my third episode that I had done on the show. And so I was in the middle of my creative learning curve with character. But that was the first time I had met Garrett. Where, it wasn't like I had worked with him before that episode. I barely passed him at a wardrobe fitting for literally 5 seconds before we started shooting together.
Yeah.
And we had great chemistry. We get along really well. We're buddies, in real life. Like, we really do enjoy each other. And we had a really fun double date the other night with our spouses. And we all get along. It's just a good and nice, relationship of great friendship. And so luckily, I think that really contributed to our chemistry on screen. And but I had no idea that it was going to become some ship thing. I hadn't even heard that expression until I was on Talking Dead with Yvette. And Yvette Nicole Brown, I was on Talking Dead for that episode of Laura. Yeah. And she's like, I shipped them, like, in the middle of the show. And I was like, what about you ship? I thought she said she shipped them. I was like, I didn't even know that meant. But I was like, well, the camera's rolling. I'm just going to go with this. I'm sure it'll become clear to me in a few minutes what this word means. So, yeah, it's been, it makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Because it brings out such a nice feeling in people, and the reaction is so pleasant from people, and that makes me very happy because I'm creating a nice effect on people. That's good. I like it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, so you just described how prior you guys didn't even really pass each other, like see each other in passing, and then what you're able to put together in the first episode that made everybody pretty much just fall in love with, your character and with Garrett's character, and then with the love story. It's to know that you guys really didn't even have any time to really work together, and then put what you guys have put on screen together now. That's amazing, because that just shows how professional both of you guys are. Because it's like watching people who have known, it's like known, like
just
had a relationship, known each other.
I've seen it just looks natural.
It's very natural.
Yeah.
It's it's just like, see, that to me is that's baffling to me. I didn't to know that you guys had no prior
interaction. No prior professional relationship, like you guys had interacted before. You know what I mean? You had nothing to build on besides your own acting experience.
Yeah, and you haven't even seen the episodes yet.
Yeah, that's just from the clips that I've seen and from what he's watched with me, near him.
And I mean, that's it. You really literally start running out of words to describe it. You're trying to enamored by it. You're just it's just like you run out of ways to describe how good you two are on the show together. Whenever, and I mean, even this past week that we saw the episode, we talked about the little, the funny scene where Morgan has a shovel, and he smacks the knife out of Sarah's hand as she's holding it. And
Mo.
Mo.
It was just so funny because she was like, you think you could just come here? And she pulls the knife out, and it's like,
it's just even to see because there's a little gesture Lenny makes, because you come back into screen, and he kind of looks at you and he just says he's okay, and it's just kind of like that little on-screen thing where it's like, was that improv or was that just kind of he's like, Jenna comes back into the screen like, hey, I got you. And Lenny's like, no, I'm good. Just kind of stuff like that I've keyed on, and it's just really... I
love that you do. That makes me happy because those are moments that I'm playing for myself. It's like something's going on and I'm stepping back going, am I going to need to step in here and is shit about to go down? Because no one's fucking touching my Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I don't even know who this Sarah girl is yet, I mean, Mo and I are now dear instant friends.
Right.
But this character, I don't I just arrived on the scene, you know. We had been separated, and I just found Morgan, and so this episode picks us up, like, you know, having just been there, and so I don't know what kind of threat she is or whatever, and yeah, I got very protective of Morgan.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that you see those little moments.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was really cool, like, to see. I was like, look at this little, you know, hey, are you okay? And he gives a little like, I'm good, you know, kind of thing. I was like, stuff like that. It's like fun.
It's really the small stuff that makes it.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's just,
good.
You know, it's fun to watch you guys kind of like, you're just interacting in that scene, and it's a small little thing, but it's stuff that, like, I'm sure other people picked up on it too, obviously, but it was just something that I saw, and I was like, that's cute. You know, like that's cute. You know, look at Jenna coming in. Hey, you okay?
Yeah.
I got you, boo.
You good, bro? You good?
Yeah.
She cares a lot about Morgan.
Yeah.
A lot. Like, she really, you know, he and John Dory are the ones who have, you know, and Madison, you know, taking me to the stadium.
Yeah.
That have, like, you know, kept me alive and saved my life, rescued me, offered me help, you know, were generous and unselfish, and, you know, so.
It's and speaking of Kim and her character, Madison, you got to work with Kim Dickens, obviously, for a little while there. I mean, Linda wants to know, you know, do you guys miss her? I imagine you do miss working with her.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to, you know, when I found out that I got the show, I went and watched all 3 seasons of Fear. And I remember I was so impressed by her that I told my agent, I go, Kim Dickens is so good on this show. Like, she's a very good actress. He said, yeah, she's good in everything. And I remember I was really watching her to see how she was playing things, and I really admired her work. And so I was, you know, really looking forward to working with her. And my husband had worked with her. So I remember my first day, I was like, Bodhi says hi. You guys work together. And yeah, she was nice.
So yeah, that was basically, she just wanted to know if, I don't know how much time you had to work with her. I mean, I know you did, there was quite a few episodes with her, but, you know, and there's...
Yeah, I didn't always have, like, we'd be in the same episode, but I wasn't necessarily in scenes with her in a certain episode. Like, the water park episode, I was, like, I think in one scene, but I didn't even have direct lines with her. And then the whole rest of the episode, I'm with Alicia at the water park. So, you know, you could be in the same episode, but sometimes you're not even working on the same day, or you don't even see each other, you know?
Right. And that's got to be another thing, like, things that Fear's doing as far as where they're shooting, the weather that they're, you know, including, you know, like, the whole like, park, you know, water park area. It's just like, you know, that would probably be one of the best places to go to just to have some fun. You know, like, in a world like that, you know, like you know, I'm going to go to Six Flags today and just see what I can do.
Yeah, exactly. And minus the walkers in the water. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that would make it a little challenging. But, you know, it's stunts and
slightly disgusting.
Yeah, stunts and stuff. I mean, as far as any of that, have you done a lot of your own stuff?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I love it. I was a professional dancer before I started acting, so I do have a bit of acumen with my body physically doing things, and we have great stunt coordinators, so they really treat it as choreography, and I have experience, like, you know, I can think with choreography, so they help me be able to do my own stunts for the most part. You know, and if something's really crazy, like, I'm not going to do it. I don't need to, you know, like, that's okay. Stunt people are awesome, and they can step in and do the stuff that I don't need to break an arm. I'm cool.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
yeah.
You do have, and that's one thing, you do have a very, you have a big background in dance. You started when you were really young, right? Was it ballet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, it's true. It helps you keep you light on your feet.
Yeah. And some coordination.
Yeah, and if anybody does, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of people do, you know, if they see you on your Instagram or anything like that, you dance a lot. You do a lot of, you know, a lot of clips there dancing around. I forgot what you were getting ready for. There was some kind of, was it a parade or an event? or something.
Oh, it was
you were
National
doing.
Dance Day.
Was it? I remember you doing like some kind of.
I'm on the board of I work with the Dizzy Beat Foundation, which is Nigel Lithgow's and Adam Shankman's dance charity.
Right.
And I was on the board of directors for several years, and now kind of an honorary board member because I'm in Austin filming, and I just don't feel like I can do my duties appropriately. So I'm an ambassador and an honorary member. And so National Dance Day was formed by Nigel, and it's about exercise and being fit and celebrating movement and dance and expression. And so there's a routine every year, National Dance Day routine, that gets posted, and there's events all over the country, and where people learn the routine and go and dance it together. And so I was learning the National Dance Day routine.
Okay. And it was super fast. It was getting played like super quick. So you had to like really pay attention.
Yeah. Because I did it in like, the time lapse.
Yeah. You were having fun. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
All right. Next question from Linda. What would it take for Morgan to be able to convince June to go back to Alexandria with him? Would you like a crossover?
These are good questions.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
What would it take? I don't know if June cares where she goes as long as she's with John and Morgan.
Yeah.
At this point, it's not like, oh, I've got appointments. I can't move to another state. I mean, it's the apocalypse. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So that doesn't work for me. I can't find a job there. I think she just wants to, now that she's found John and Morgan, I think that's who she cares about sticking with.
She's content. Just as long as she's got those two, she's content.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. And I mean, that makes sense too. You're with people you trust. You're with people you like. So yeah, where are we going? It's not like you need a passport anymore.
Exactly.
I will say, Heather pointed out a very interesting coincidence.
What's that?
That she wonders if John Dory and June were named after Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash.
I don't know.
Ask the writers. That's a good question for the showrunners.
Yeah, that is a good question. All right,
we should tweet like.
It is a great American love affair. It's a great American love affair.
Yeah. All right. Next question from. I'll do another one from Linda, and then I'll move on to someone else. What do you think of Morgan's nickname Momo? Do you agree if Sarah called John Dory JoJo?
I like that she comes up with these names.
Yeah.
I love how much Lenny hated it.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh. He hated it. He hated Momo so much. Like, he and through the character, both Morgan and Lenny just could not deal with the Momo situation. And I just love watching, like, his skin crawl every time she says it. Oh, it's so sweet. I love it. I love Sarah coming up with names for people, and I love it. I think she can name me whatever she wants.
Momo and JoJo.
Yeah. Would that make her Juju?
Would you
Juju.
be
Juju?
There you go, I'd be Juju.
JoJo and Juju?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you see June maybe catching on and being, instead of calling Morgan, be like, Momo? Do you see June? No, June's not going to do that?
Not getting a razz out of him?
Yeah, she's not,
I don't think so. I mean, maybe at a key moment when it could be playful, but I don't think she'd make it the reg.
Yeah, I could see her maybe Morgan kind of teetering on something, and June being like, really, Momo?
Yeah.
So someone goes #no mo Momo.
No Momo. Oh, that's Sugar Soul Creations. We follow her. She follows us.
Okay.
It's a following thing. I know who she is. You need
that
to pay
just
more.
made me crave cookies.
Yeah.
Now I'm hungry for cookies.
I don't think cookies is one of the things she does, though. I know there's another one out there.
Although cookies just sound phenomenal right now.
I don't have any. I'm on Whole30. Leave me alone. I'm very cranky.
Oh, okay.
Even though Oreos are vegan, but they're still not considered, Whole30 approved.
So is plastic. You wouldn't eat that.
True.
I
I
mean,
think there's who knows what's in the bed stuff.
if it's a
God.
zombie apocalypse and you're really hungry, I mean, you know.
I'm gonna eat
Oh,
Oreos.
don't get me wrong. I would eat those.
I'll turn it
the
into
apocalypse.
I'll turn it into Tallahassee and just look for Twinkies everywhere.
You know?
Snowballs.
I hate snowballs.
I want ding dong.
I would definitely be a devil dog kind of guy. I love devil dogs.
Just want to say, I love Woody Harrelson, though. He's hysterical.
It's true. All right, let me see here. From Jeannie and Nick. Jeannie and Nick are in Texas.
Yay!
Actually, they want to do. Have you gotten like a Texas yeehaw down yet? Have you ever been in Texas and you yeehawing it up yet?
I haven't personally expressed a yeehaw. I've thought about yeehaw. I've had internal yeehaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just not an outburst of it yet. It hasn't really left the internals yet.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm not sure I'm ready for a public yeehaw.
But you have the spirit of yeehaw.
When maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe when you're on set this coming season, and you feel like just doing a quick Instagram post, it could be a yeehaw.
Yes, that's true.
She can steal John's hat.
Or sneak an improv in there, you know. Just,
Yeah.
I've gotten out a y'all. I've gotten out howdy.
Oh. All right.
But I haven't done a full yeehaw.
Yeah. You do go for very brisk runs. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe at the end of a long run, you could let out a yeehaw.
God, I don't know. I have a problem with yeehaw.
All right. So one of the questions is.
You need to get your face on camera more. You're like off screen.
Me?
I can't see it. Yes.
Which way do I go?
No, on camera.
This way.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, you know
now
why?
I can
Because
see you.
if I go, see that?
I can fix that.
Yeah. Hold on. The reason. Welcome back. We never left.
Don't change.
Okay.
Okay. That was weird. Freaking Skype.
We have your screen in the middle, so I always look up at the TV, which probably I don't know if you can tell I'm not looking at you at the camera on the on the computer, so I'm looking at you. We have you on a big screen TV, but everyone sees you on the Mac in this little HD beautiful picture.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's why I shift around a lot.
You were like off camera.
I apologize. Okay, Jeannie and Nick, being in the great state of Texas, what has become one of your favorite foods to eat?
This is a very long delay by me, isn't it?
Must have been a lot of good eating.
Oh, so much. Like, seriously. Okay, well, there is, it's not a Texan food. I like barbecue and all of that, but it's very heavy, and so I try not to eat it too much because my body is not thrilled with me if I have too much of that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a salad. That sounds so lame.
So exciting.
It's a lovely salad.
It's got kale.
But I turned Garrett onto it, and he loves it. And so now it's like our thing that we talk about, which is there's a place called the South Congress Cafe on South Congress, which is this really fun street where a lot of great local artists have shops, and there's great restaurants and a hotel. And it's a street that leads into downtown, but it has its own. Anyway, there's a place called the South Congress the South Congress Cafe, and it has the South Congress salad. And it is so good, and it has these like goat cheese rounds, and you can get steak on it. It's some of the most tender steak I have ever had. You barely have to chew. Like, it is so good. And it's these big leafy greens and just delicious steak, like amazing. And you get that, the goat cheese and avocado. Oh.
I was just gonna say it needs avocado. Yeah, I love goat cheese. Not a lot of people like goat cheese because it's kind of like depends on where. There's different.
It's a little too gamey for some people.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's different like pungencies to goat cheese, but if you get like a really good one, it's so good.
I have to say though, I recently went to Texas, and Texas barbecue does not disappoint.
Yeah,
it does not. It is very, very, very good.
I mean, I had probably the best pulled pork I've ever had in my entire life there.
All right, come on, guys.
I love pulled pork. It's dinner time. We're torturing ourselves right now.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, see, I don't eat past like 7 anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to suck it up and drink water.
I've also been here since 5:30. I wasn't home for a full hour.
You want shoulder to crown? Next question from Jeannie and Nick. They want to know, do you have a specific favorite scene that you could pick, or?
It's probably a few of them, because there's many. It's hard to choose.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh my God! I mean, like, so many scenes in the Laura episode for sure. I'd have to say in the episode Week that aired last week that Coleman Domingo directed.
Yes.
I really liked the scenes with Quinn. I really liked the scenes with Althea. Like, I loved everything in that episode. That was one of my favorites besides Laura. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, and you know, seeing how everyone's kind of like thinking that, you know, Al got sick due to drinking the contaminated water that was being, you know, cracked open and filled with some dirty water. So, you know, now and everybody was wondering, oh no, did June have the water too? You know, is June gonna get sick? But it's like, June, I mean, has a background as a nurse as well. So I'm just like, I think she know how to handle herself if she's always felt herself getting uneasy or anything like that. But
I feel like there would also be like a certain level of caution. Like if you're a nurse and it's a zombie apocalypse, or if you're like in the medical field at all, whether it's EMS or nurses or doctors, whatever, you see water and you think it might be stagnant or whatever, you know, or tainted somehow, you'd be like, we're ready to drink it. You know what I mean? You would be cooking it and boiling it. I don't want to
spoil anything for you.
Okay.
All right, because I know you haven't seen it.
But half for the 4th season have been spoiled for me already.
Let's just say that there's these packages that are left places, and inside these packages are items for you to use if you need it.
Okay.
And I'm like, one of the items is obviously bottled water.
Okay.
But I'm like, if you picked up a bottle of water and you cracked it, I mean, there's that distinct cracking sound or feel.
Yeah, but not only that, but also like feel the material that is the top of a bottle cap.
Doesn't matter.
It could vary. If you had a small needle,
come on.
What I'm saying is, if you had a small needle, you know how easy
this is a zombie apocalypse.
But
no one's walking around with a needle puncturing bottle caps.
No, but that brings up a very good point. The zombie apocalypse brings out the worst in people.
So this one person went and found a needle to puncturing the bottle caps and put bad water in.
Possibly, yes.
Moving on, sir. Moving on.
Whatever.
Francine.
I don't voice my opinions no more.
Shut up. Francine wants to know, she says, you've been doing comedy for your whole career pretty much. How is doing Fear been so different?
I was really craving doing something else. I love comedy. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it. It is fun, and I love absurd things. But I was also craving, as someone who has lived a big life experiences, I want to dig in and tell a human story and be able to stay in those moments and not just bounce out of them in a comedy rhythm. So I definitely had a learning curve because there was a lot to learn going onto the show. You know, there's learning everything about the show, and then there's learning everything that I need to know in terms of, you have to know what show you're on, you know, in terms of the aesthetic and the aesthetic that was changing with this season, with new showrunners, new editors, new cinematographers, new producers. Like, you know, it's gotten a full overhaul. So I had like a learning curve to go on with how they were using the camera and what that meant for my marks and performance and the mythology of the apocalypse of this, how they're telling this particular apocalypse story. Right. And so I had a lot to learn. So it was like captivated a lot of my attention and focus, and I had a lot to learn, but it was totally where I wanted to be.
Yeah. And you're not getting so, and that's the thing. Like, it's not comedy, so to speak, where you're like, you know, it's you know, light and everything like that. But there is so much entertainment in this kind of work, doing like a drama kind of, this apocalypse type thing, where it's just expanding yourself, and having a whole group of people, a whole family, so to speak, just love everything you're doing. So you're doing it right. No worries.
That makes me very happy. Thank you.
Another question I got a question from Laura. She said she read an article about you. It was a great article, very interesting. She said she was wondering if you could let us know how you and your husband met, and also how did you get into acting?
We met on an audition for a Sprite commercial.
Mm-hmm. I heard this.
And is that what she's asking? I don't want to answer it wrong. Did she ask how did we meet?
Yeah, how you met.
Did I answer this properly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we met on an audition, and then we both got the job together. I adored him and was annoyed with him from the first moment we met. And nothing has changed. As you've seen on our podcast. We just were like friends, and then started, doing more than friend stuff. Mm. And that's how we met. And what was the other question? How did I get into acting? Was that the other question?
Yeah. What sparked your interest for acting?
I like living lives of other people without having to, I like to have my life, but I feel like I get to live many lifetimes in one lifetime by being these other characters and living through them. I also am just a huge fan of humanity.
Yeah.
And I love people watching. I love people. I love watching how everyone, I just love it. I love people. And I love playing people. And I think that that's what draws me to acting is that sensation I get from becoming someone else and living life through them. Like that gives me a nice feeling. And then through that use of imagination, I can make you feel emotions.
Yeah.
And then you become happy about the emotions I made you feel, and then that's really fun.
That's a great answer. That's a really, really great answer. That's probably the best answer I think we've ever got on a question, that type of question. That's
cool.
It's a really good way to put it. Hercules is here. So Hercules, his name is Ryan. His Twitter handle is Hercules Handy. He says, his question for June, if Nick was her brother on the show and Charlie killed him, how would she feel about Charlie then?
I think June would have compassion and understanding because this is an 11-year-old girl who lost her parents, watched them turn. That's enough to just send a kid straight down to Looneyville. I mean, forget it.
It's true.
Number one, losing your parents. That's enough to, that's rough. Losing your parents in an apocalyptic environment of despair. Number two, awful. Watching them turn, forget it. And then being just picked up and raised by vultures who are kind of selfish and, care about her, but, kind of care more about themselves, but care about her.
Yeah.
And that's all she has to hang on to. And then, Nick killed her adopted vulture guardian. And she doesn't know where she's at.
Right.
That I would, since June was a mother, I think she's naturally in a place of, once you're a parent, you never go back. Like, you're a parent to every child you come in contact with.
Right.
That's just what parenting is. For me, it is anyway. Like, as a mother, I'm a mother to every child who comes near me, you know. I'm in a park and there's there's kids around, and I mean, I'm responsible for that child. If I don't see their mother, that's my kid. In terms of, not like it's my kid, but in terms of my responsibility for their well-being. I feel a sense of responsibility for. So I think from that point of view, June would probably take Charlie under her wing and, try and help her, both from the nurse point of view and as a parent. But I don't think I'd be thrilled with her, but I think that I would have a sense of wanting to help her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think right now with Charlie and Alicia, that whole story arc is pretty interesting. And I like how Alicia's taking her under her wing, kind of like Madison, I think, would have, kind of learning from her mom, despite, just like you said, obviously not happy, not, but put yourself in those shoes to where she went through everything you described, and, her only way of, being able to cope with that was by, killing Nick. So,
Not a great move, but slightly understandable.
Yeah.
Considering.
Yeah.
And it's what she sees. She sees so much killing and death. They start to become it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and especially when they're young. I mean, that's when they're molding. So you got to make sure that this person molds into something better. Great.
That's like when Morgan says to her in the SWAT van as we pull up into the stadium, or when we're driving on the way to the stadium, and she says, "Why did you save me?" And he says, "Because this has to end somewhere."
Right.
It's like we can't. This has to end. Like this cannot be the way we just go.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true. All right, Lisa Marie. Lisa, what up, Lisa? Good question for Lisa. She wants to know if there's a lot of supply boxes that are being left on the road. Take what you need. What are the 3 top things Jenna would need in the zombie apocalypse?
Water, and water. I'm like, as you see, I drink. Oh my God, I just almost knocked down my iPad situation. Oh my God, that almost was a complete breakdown. Food items or just any items?
I guess your top 3.
Food or any items?
Anything.
Top 3? Okay, anything.
Top 3, anything. We got water.
Oh, God. I'd have a hankering for pizza, I'll tell you that.
Oh, my God.
Pizza.
Like, that would crush me. It would crush me.
Okay, water for sure, because I'm a big fan of water. And you need water. Let me think for a second, because that's a big range. I'd really be appreciative for a toothbrush and toothpaste.
Yeah.
It's the small things.
I would probably have one of those little, things of scope or something at least, or maybe those little Listerine Brett strips.
Yeah. Popping those things like
something.
Candy.
Something,
yeah, that'd be good.
Something small you could raid at a store real quick, put in your pocket,
Yeah.
Someone tries to mug you and you're
I
like...
would need something for that.
Yeah.
And then my third would be probably like some kind of granola bar or something.
Mm-hmm. See, as much as I love eating, hygiene, I would be a hygiene freak.
Yeah.
I would just be like, even though there's probably hardly anyone around, I'd be like, damn it.
Yeah, I just
gotta find me like a lemon peel or something right now.
Yeah, like even when we work, because our uniforms we wear at work are like polyester.
Oh, it's terrible.
And they don't breathe.
No.
So like after like a day where we just had code after code, we've been running over the hospital. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
We gotta run to the car real quick and grab my deodorant.
Yeah. So it's like you think no showers, the heat or the whatever, and you're just like, I stink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like some. I'd be down for some like wet wipes or.
Oh God.
Could I happen to get a moist towelette?
When you're on the plane, they give you the warm.
my little bug out bag would have like, you know, wipes in it and shit. I don't know, something like it would have to have sanitary things. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
Karen, hi Karen. Karen has a pretty good question for you. She goes, you posted some stuff camping with your family over the summer on your hiatus. She wants to know if you're a roughing it kind of camper or are you a glamper who needs like, you know, the RV and the AC.
Roughing it. I'm full roughing it. I love it.
There it is. All right. See, she's a tough one.
We're going to Yosemite. And we're doing the like hike with what you got on your back.
Oh, nice.
You know, not campground, dig a hole. You know, the whole thing. I'm a roughing it. I like it.
All right. She's like, crack another can of beans.
Yep.
Bush is baked.
or if you're Carl Grimes, you know, chocolate pudding, whatever.
Yeah, it's true. She goes, I've been a fan of the Kicking and Screaming podcast that you do with your husband. How do you decide on a topic of the day, and can I just come and sit on the couch and watch you film it? I will try to laugh quietly.
It's funny because I actually said to Bodhi, I was like, I feel like we should do a couple just for fun where we have like a little audience. And we just let people, you know, and just put a mic there and like have some friends over and just like let them talk and laugh. Because oftentimes like our camera guy, you know, from my vantage point, I see the camera and then his face going like, like he's reacting, you know, and I'm like, let's mic him and let's have friends and have them react, because I feel like the subject of relationships is so juicy, you know, and it's like fun to have interaction. I think it would be great to do like have an audience or do a live one. I thought about filming one at like a comedy store, you know, and doing a live or recorded with an audience version. I still have a goal for that because I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In terms of coming up, so she's totally invited. She can come hang when we do that. In terms of how we pick what we're going to talk about, oftentimes it'll sort of want the air with us at the time. We don't always plan what we're going to talk about, or Bodhi will have an idea, and he doesn't like to tell me. He just wants to bring it up on the spot. So I often have no idea what he's going to bring up. We don't pre-write it. We don't edit. We don't, you know, or he'll pick a subject and I pick a subject. We don't tell each other what the subject's going to be. We just float it, and then we get into it.
Very cool. That's a good way to do it. And you know, having even a small gathering of people, that's a good little fun, like, because you'll get different insights. You know, you'll kind of have like a little panel of people to give their little insight to like that topic. Yeah. So pretty good idea.
I think it'd be fun.
That's kind of like what we have here in our chat. We have all these little side topics going on.
We have the peanut gallery.
Yeah. So, and Karen's actually, she says, have Bodhi go to Atlanta and do a podcast. I'll be there in a heartbeat. So.
And she said she's going to remind you. So.
Yeah, she said she'll remind you. W.F. Bell says hello. I have a bunch of people saying hello, by the way. W.F. Bell, William F. Bell, he's a savior on The Walking Dead, says hello. Says he's sorry he's late. Colleen's here. She says hi. She's late, but she says hello.
Hi.
She said Lovey's at work. He's not here.
Yeah, Lovey's at work. Boo.
Yes.
He does a good job. He's a paramedic, so you know he's saving lives and stuff. So that's good.
William Ghost's been busy taking half of some people's shit.
You watched it. I mean, you watched The Walking Dead. You've been watching the shows from the beginning, right?
Not from the beginning, but I binged all 7 seasons and then watched the 8th was airing while I was starting this season. So I had seen a few episodes, but I had seen everything now. I watched all Walking Dead, every episode, and all seasons of Fear. So I've seen everything.
Have you had a chance to meet up with any of those guys over there on the other side?
At the conventions I've met. Yes. I think I've met, let's see. Well, Melissa,
right.
When we were filming the Laura episode, she was on set because she was watching Mikey direct.
Okay.
And so she was there while we were filming that episode. So that was amazing and intimidating. because I love her. I love her. I love Carol.
Yeah, just as long as she didn't tell you to look at any flowers, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, she it was lovely. Like I did that after I did that.
Uh-oh. Stay with us. Come
Hey,
on.
good
Say
there.
I'm a child.
There it is.
Oh, there she is.
Huh?
No, Skype was playing games with us for a minute. We're okay.
Playing games with my heart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we still good?
We're
Yeah,
good.
we're
We're good.
Okay. So when I was filming the scene in the Laura episode where I turned to Garrett on the couch, and I say I lost my child.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it I said it many different ways because there was several different ways I wanted to play it, and so Mikey let me play it all those ways because you never know when you get the bulk of the episode which emotional beats which takes they're going to use, and so I wanted to give them options on that moment. And she came out from behind the monitor all teared up and she was like, that was so beautiful, and it was just so sweet, and it was so nice to have her there and to share that emotional moment together on set, with her, who I love. So that was really meaningful to me. And then I met Andy at Comic-Con in San Diego this year, and Xander I knew because we were neighbors. And then everyone, just meeting them at cons, Avi Nash and I did a movie called Barry together, so we were already friends. And so when I saw he got Walking Dead, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you. So now we got to hang out at the cons and catch up, so that was great. And Austin Emilio at the conventions, and he's great, and we have a nice friendship, and it's been cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's someone in the chat mentioned too. They were like, she played Frankie on 2.5 Men, and I'm like, holy crap, you're right. That was such a while. That was a long time ago. But I used to love watching that show, and I'm like, she did play Frankie on 2.5 Men. Sorry, I just threw that in there, but I just seen it passing in the chat, and it's just like you've really got to do some fun stuff working with some great people. I mean, Charlie Sheen is, obviously he's had some
controversy.
He's had some ups and downs, but he's still there.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. Let me see. Some con questions. People want to know, have you heard it? They want to know if you're announcing any cons. I know you're going to be in Atlanta. Is there anything past Atlanta that you know about as far as con-wise? But you can't mention it yet.
Yeah. No, I think Rhode Island announced it.
Okay. All right. That's okay.
I'll be at Rhode Island. And then I'll be... I don't know what I'm allowed to say or if they have to announce it first.
Yeah, we'll just keep that. So I'll do what I usually do. If you want to see Jenna at a con, what you have to do is tweet at the con. So a bunch of us, and we started doing this a while ago, but if you would like to see Jenna, yeah, at Walker.
That's their ship name, Jenna.
If you want to see Jenna at Walker Stalker, New Jersey, tweet at Walker Stalker and say, hey, we would love to have Jenna Elfman at Walker Stalker, New Jersey. And so on and so forth. And then that picks up steam, and then they're like, hey, Jenna, you want to come to New Jersey? And Jenna's like, sure, I'd love to go to New Jersey. See how that works? That's how that works.
Pretty much how that works.
That's pretty much how that works. Kim Robbins, hi Kim, how are you? Tell hubby I said hello. Kim
Robbins.
Kim wants to know, were you kind of sad that Quinn didn't last long? I thought I was really going to like him, and bam, crazy lady got him. I kind of thought that he was going to end up being like another person on I can't.
I'm sure I'll be able to comment on that in a few weeks.
But I really thought that, once again, it seemed like June was trying to kind of play that giving, let me give back kind of thing, like bring you in kind of role, and hey, you can be with us, and yeah, I mean, one episode and done, but I loved what I love what he brought in that one episode. He did a great job. And, you know, unfortunately, I mean, some people only make it for one episode, but...
I think, you know, it was... There's things I can't say, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say. I think what's great about the storytelling we're heading into is, and if you really watch the storytelling over these next couple episodes, you'll see how, and I think it's so beautiful, gestures of help. Whether you directly are able to help the person in front of you or not, the gesture of having tried does end up coming around, and you'll see this beautiful interweaving of people who offered help, people who were helped by that, people who tried to help, they felt they failed to help, but then that gesture did result in help somewhere. And it's this beautiful little crisscross hand-holding of gestures of help and love for your fellow man that are just so cool that that Morgan's trying to do, that Polar Bear was doing, that the guy, you know, that Lucy came in contact with, who was dying, and she got him his last beer, and you'll see as the storytelling goes where all these help is coming from, and people who are then running with that and trying to pay it forward. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, it's best way. Well, yeah, that's the best way you can answer that without getting too involved.
Yeah, I know it's so like obscure when I answer these things sometimes.
No, we get it, and everyone understands too. We know that there's some things that just can't be spoken. Question from Paula Moore. Paula Moore says hi, and she says, "How is it working with Lenny?"
It's hard to have words for my love and admiration for Lenny. I like every scene I get that I get to act with him. I'm just so excited because I'm going to learn something and I'm going to get better by being in his proximity. It's intimidating beyond, because I just like have such great admiration for Lenny.
Yeah.
But it's him looking at you in a scene. I honestly, I can't figure out how he does it, how he's so good. Like, you don't see all this effort to act. There's no effort. There's no strain. There's no proving anything. There's no freaking nothing except, and then it's just so powerful. And I'm like, how do you do that? What are you doing? What is that, buddy? Like, it's, his space just becomes so big when that, you know, it is anyway, but when the camera starts rolling and he looks at you as Morgan, it's really something. It's I live for it. It's just so great.
Yeah, I could see that, because there's scenes where, you know, and that's another thing. Like, Lenny has been able to be so much more than what his character was on The Walking Dead. That's not a bad thing. It's great to watch him become more.
They're just two different environments.
Yeah. And you know, it's just you know, it's true, watching him make certain looks or seeing him portray who his character is becoming more of, you know, I can kind of see what you mean just from watching. You know, you get a lot more of him on Fear, and it's great, because you get to really get a feel of like how good of an actor he really is. You know, where you got glimpses of that on The Walking Dead, but now it's really at the forefront, and it's great to see.
Yes, absolutely.
Nashville Negan wants to know: Do you think Lenny's getting sick of peanut butter protein bars?
Well, no, because he thought Michonne had taken his that last one, so I don't think he's sick of them.
No, I mean, he keeps reaching for him. I don't know.
Exactly.
You know,
there was a good peanut butter bar reference if you guys caught it with him and Nick.
Yeah.
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 They make fun references.
And then
him when he found the box in the back of the
truck.
Semi, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He had a few things to pick from, and he picked it up and he smiled, and I'm like, all right. So he found his protein bar.
Yeah, exactly.
All is well. All right. So I have obviously a few questions for you, but as far as the direction of, speculating only, obviously, but what do you see happening moving forward? You still pay attention to Walking Dead, and obviously you're in tune with everything that's supposed to go on this season and everything like that. So I mean, what is Jenna's kind of feel on everything that's going on?
First of all, is that dog barking really coming through your thing really loud?
No,
barely.
You're fine.
Okay, good. It's not my dog, but I don't know where it's coming from, but it's a very yappy dog. So many thoughts. I'm very excited to see Samantha Morton as Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see Lauren. I'm excited to see all these new characters, because I'm just curious, all these female characters, which I'm excited about. And I think I'm getting the sense that there's this, other texture coming. There's this new aesthetic coming in to Walking Dead that I think is going to just, after 8 years, you have to keep it fresh.
Right.
You can't keep telling the same, you have to bring in new aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring in new angles of view from character, new tone, new sensibilities, while all maintaining, that dynamic that everyone loves, which they do so well. They didn't say they're killing Rick, right? They didn't say he's dying, did they? Or did they just say this is his last season?
I think they've worded it that episode 9 is supposed to be his last episode. That's the only thing they've really said.
They just said he's exiting the show, but they didn't state that he was dying or whatever. So
they didn't say he's dying?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think, and if somebody has seen otherwise, but as far as I know, they haven't really stated that he's dying.
I think it's interesting that when they say this is his last season, everyone thinks he's going to die.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And the same thing with Maggie, too. It's no one's stating, she's leaving, but no one's stating, she's dead, And it's kind of the thing that goes with the show is, you're not dead unless we see it. Yep. If we haven't seen you dead, then we don't know if you're dead. So who knows how they might leave it, It's true. Everyone could come back eventually. Maybe they're leaving. There's no timeline when they're coming back, and they're going to go explore distant lands. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. It's all speculation. You wake up tomorrow. You look out your window, and it's the apocalypse. What do you do?
I've got my kids and my husband.
Sure. Yep. You have your whole family.
Right.
Yep.
I think I think I'd be really freaking relieved that I didn't have to deal with social media or the internet anymore.
That's a stellar answer. Not for nothing, but yeah, I agree.
I love social media, but the shitty part of the internet, I think, I would just be like, oh, I don't have to
Yeah.
I don't have to return another email. I think I would feel really relieved in one regard, having to do with the high-speed lifestyle that we're in, because I don't know. It's not very organic to me in my makeup. You know, I much prefer to not have any electronic device and go back to how it was.
Right.
I don't find it terrible. I love Instagram. That's what I love. I love posting images that make people feel something. I like communicating with people. I love that. Everything else stresses me out. So I think I'd immediately be super relieved that I didn't have to deal anymore. And I think that I would start wondering where my friends are so I could form a community and start gathering supplies. And I think that would be my main thing is people and supplies.
Yeah.
And love. And like going, you know what? We're going to make this. We can't do anything else with it, so we might as well make it fucking great somehow.
The best you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The best you can. Do you have a like a compound you like something in mind where you go? We just try to like hunker down at home and make that the fort, or would you be like, I'm going to go take over a Costco? Come on, kids.
I'm sure me and all 100 million other people in Los Angeles would have the same idea.
Yeah, probably.
It might be very crowded. I probably want to stay away because immediately I know there'd be like looters and insanity and madness,
right.
and I just want nothing to do with that. So I'd probably give it some time for all of that to settle down, and for all the people who aren't so bright to just burn themselves out, because I'm sure they all would just implode.
Yeah.
And then, you have to make some runs, and I'd probably just start living the show.
Yeah. I think for at least the first 2 weeks, I would stay really, really isolated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really laid super low, and just like you said, let the craziness happen. You know, because you would think after 2 weeks, people would either start moving out of the area, keep whatever, or whatnot. But yeah, I would definitely for the first like 2 weeks, I would just bunker down and no lights. Just kind of off the grid.
Yeah.
And just kind of let it roll, and then come out.
Yeah, probably more than 2 weeks before all that settles down.
Yeah.
But the cream will rise to the top. Like the decent people,
right?
You see in these emergency situations, like, do you know that quote from? Remember Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
He said that his mom would say, whenever there's like an emergency or something, and you're watching the news, look for the helpers. There's always helpers.
Right.
Or if you're you always see it. Like last year with the hurricane. That's where they got the idea for these boxes on the show, is people would leave these help boxes around.
That's awesome.
And that beautiful gesture of people reaching out to help each other. We saw so many amazing stories last year with the hurricane, There's always those people who are out there that help each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what keeps the world spinning, in my opinion. That's what keeps the world going, is those decent, kind people. And so I think the madness, the craziness, the people who are going to loot and implode and go violent would do it until they all spin out of control and fall apart. And then those people who are always helping, who will always be helpers, will be around and then form a community.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that when I started this, a while back with my other friend Matt, who he had a family and had to get away from it, but the reason why we started the shirts is whenever we started doing the shirts, was if shit ever hit the fan, you'd put your B shirt on, and we would form like anyone with the shirt would be someone we knew, so we would come from like all reaches of whatever part of the world, and form that community. But as long as you had the shirt on, you knew that you knew that person one way or another. So that's kind of that's where like the shirts came into hand and stuff like that. Like a while back, we were building our alliance. So that was just our little thing we did back then. And it's still, people still get the shirts and stuff like that. But that was what really kickstarted it. Was like let's kind of think about this scenario. And if shit ever really hit the fan, like, hey, wear your shirt, and then that's how we know that you're one of us. One of us.
Yeah.
one of us. One of us. But so that's really cool.
Yeah.
do you have anything? Do you have anything for us?
I just want to thank you for all the support and love and welcoming me into this family with such open arms. It means a lot to me. And when I'm on set, and I think about all of you guys out there. Like there's I can't say yet. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
There's but I'll be doing a scene and I'll think, the fans are going to notice this and they're going to feel this, and I want to make sure that they're acknowledged, those feelings are acknowledged, and we have to have this moment here or whatever. I feel all of you while we're filming, and I'm thinking of all of you while we're filming, and certainly our purpose is to tell a great story.
Yeah.
And that's our top priority, because if we tell a great story, then you guys will be moved and affected on an emotional level, and that's what we want. It's what makes you feel and reach. And but it's like, because this is such a family and it's such a fandom, and everyone has been so warm and welcoming and generous, I feel you while I'm working. It's all part of it for me, It's like one of my little pockets is all you guys out there. So I just want to really, truly say thank you. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It really means a lot.
Thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate it. That's weird for us to say, appreciate it. Everyone here. Oh, could you real quick? Because I even had Colleen also said that she got a text message from Robin.
Okay.
And he says that he can't go on with his night unless he gets a henchman laugh.
Oh.
So I don't know if putting you on the spot or. But.
No, it's okay. So we were. He was just like, they were very caught off guard that we were all having dinner together, and there's just certain things where he couldn't believe I reached out to him to go have dinner and all of these things, and so I was like, wah, doing these so every time he had one of his little fan moments, I would just reach into my wah.
Easy.
I'm good.
Easy. Okay.
But I was, mischievous, having these fun experiences with them. So that's kind of where that came from. I'm suppressing it because there's a microphone right here, and I don't want to be some scary person on this podcast. But we were walking down the street or in the restaurant. We were having fun.
Awesome. Well, I know that we're hoping, and anybody else who's going to be attending Atlanta, we can't wait to meet you.
Thank you.
We're going to bring you a shirt.
It's 42 days away.
43 days away. We're going to bring you a shirt. We'll even bring you one for the kiddies and
Yay!
Even Bodie if he wants one. I don't care.
Sure.
But we're coming toting shirts, and we're just going to be throwing them out to people.
Thank you.
But, can't wait to meet you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And look, hour and 36 minutes.
I will
Amazing.
say you beat
really
Garrett.
Fast.
You beat Garrett. It was an hour and 13 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
So now when you see him, be like,
They wanted more of me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's just because I talk way more than he does. He's such a chatterbox, and he's so soft-spoken.
Really, really funny story about that podcast real quick is that we almost didn't have one.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. Because
I saw it. I saw you guys talking about that.
Yeah. Because that's why I kept saying, 4 o'clock your time, 7 o'clock our time. Because, that was just hysterical. He's like, I owe you guys big. I'm like, you don't owe us anything. You're here. Don't worry about it. But that was fun.
No, you'll meet him in Atlanta. It's going to be so fun. I hope everyone gets, professional photo op opportunities with the two of us. I hope that's happening. We have to have, dual...
We've
been saying that.
Every day we check, we're like, is the duo out yet?
Literally the first day we found out we're going to Atlanta, I was looking through the photo ops, and I'm like, there better be a Jenna Garrett duo photo op here, because if there's not, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And there wasn't.
Nothing yet. It's going to happen.
We got to get on that.
It's going to happen.
So many people want that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Okay, well, I'll do my best.
We're going to keep pushing forward on social media, too. So they're going to break.
I mean, regardless, we're still getting a photo op with you and Garrett.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
Okay.
Yeah. And hey, maybe late night drinks and steak. You never know.
And we'll see that henchman laugh in person.
Yes.
Exactly.
We can all do our best Dr. Evil, you know? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being
thanks
here.
Thanks for having me, guys. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank
Absolutely.
you for being here. I mean, seriously.
Everybody, we will be back probably in a few weeks. We will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for spending some time with us. Any kind of anything you want to talk about, hit us up in our DMs.
Yep.
Ryan's going to be taking over, as he has been, the social media part, because I'm stepping aside to do more business-related stuff for us. So yeah, we got some really cool stuff coming, some artwork from Mr. Kirk Manley himself that he did, and it's going to look amazing. You guys are going to love it. So we will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
Yep.
Jenna, bye.
Bye.
Ma'am.
Good night, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Me too. See ya. Sorry, Carol.
All right, people, thank you so much for being here. We love you guys. Peace
Later, guys.
out. Stay safe.
Beast mode.
Peace mode.
There you go. Throwing it back.
Throwing it back, way back.
Damn, I missed that. You, me, and Matt.
Peace.